What's up, folks? This is the Annealer reveal. I got the comments up. We got the product here. Happy St. Patrick's Day. It's a beautiful day today. The sun is shining. I'm wearing shorts for the first time all year long, and it feels pretty darn good. And I hope you guys are doing pretty good too. This is Thursday. It's about 1:30 here in Dearborn, Michigan. If you guys are outside of the United States, then it's probably some other time. Some people inside the United States, it's another time. But it's a beautiful day for St. Patty's Day. This is kind of, my birthday was yesterday, as you heard on Tuesday's show. So it's kind of, this has always been the turning point, springtime for me. Even if it's cold, we know at St. Patty's Day, things are starting to turn around here in Michigan, and we're getting some beautiful weather, and that's what's happening today. So I see Dana's in here, Kathleen and Jamie. What's happening? You guys, welcome. And if you guys aren't commenting, no problem. I hope you're having a beautiful day. And if you're watching it later, maybe you're at work right now, maybe you're taking a nap, which sounds pretty darn nice. Maybe for Kay, it's 6:30 in the morning. She's waking up fresh and watching the Annealer reveal. But hope everyone's doing amazing out there. So we're going to get into the product. It was a pretty darn cool show. We had some decorations. We actually rented a leper. It's a beautiful company where we had our lovely leprechaun Brent come into town, and he was looking good, and he had some limericks for us and some pretty good knowledge on gold and rainbows and how it all goes down. What's happening? Sue, Jody's at work. Yep. Heather, happy St. Patty's Day. It was a pretty sweet show. It was a good time. We had a lot of craziness going on, and we made some pieces that had never been done before, at least one, and then another one is a variation of a piece, a couple variations to some product we've made before, but some pretty one-of-a-kind pieces. A few were for sale. We got the giveaway. A couple are sold. One is still available on the website. There comes the Amtrak right now going back towards Detroit right now, so I wonder, we were talking about some sort of something or other when the train comes during the live show that we've got to do in the middle of a piece, and we got to think about that, and we got to come up with something cool. But we'll take your suggestions in here if you got them, folks. Send them our way. I'm going to start off with the warmer-upper, which Chris did. We were both getting warmed up because neither of us had made any work that day. Michelle and I were having a business meeting talking about all kinds of cool stuff and figuring things out. And then we had Chris coming in. I think he was in the shop, but he was doing cold working before the show and getting everything lined up. And it was a pretty beautiful day. So we both got warmed up.
All right. What's happening, everybody?
There he is.
Sharing Jake's mic for a moment, just passing through. Nice to see you all. Hope you're enjoying the weather.
Beautiful day. And we made the warmer-upper, and this was the first warmer-upper right here. This was a Pilsner, and a pretty nice one. And Chris did mention we don't make a lot of these. Typically, we don't have them in the gallery. They're almost more of like a Renaissance product in my mind, but people do love these, and they're a perfectly held, nice-sized drinking vessel. And this one had 4 different greens that we spiraled on from in multiple different directions and did some pretty sweet color application to. And then he encased it in clear. So I'm going to give you the close-up shot over here on the camera, but hopefully the sun is shining right on it. You see there's about 4 different greens in there. It's bright, it's popping. Inside, you see down in there, you see how it gets a little bit tighter. And there's lighter greens, and the dark green is what I brought over. And that was kind of an application, a bit, we call it, B-I-T, in glass blowing. Looks really nice next to that shamrock plant right there. But we got the GA stamp right on the bottom. This was actually a nice collaboration warmer-upper because Chris did all the color, blew it out, and then after we punnied it up, I took over and I gave the lip a trim, added the clear lip wrap on here, and then opened it up with Chris, and this one turned out pretty darn good. This one actually sold, and we know that Linda over here, I got the orders right here, Linda snatched this one up. We've been doing now on the show, as we make the pieces, they become available as soon as we can get our fingers to get them on the website. So we don't always have a perfect picture of them, but you know if you're watching the show live what product they are and what the deal is, and we put the price on there. We're gonna stick with quantities of 1 so that Glass Academy, the Gathering Point show products are all one of a kind, no recreations coming from that. Anyone's welcome to design off of these or think about beautiful things that could come from these, but these are one of a kind pieces, and Linda got the St. Patty's Day Sweet Pilsner. And I haven't got to signing all these yet, but like Chris mentioned, I am going to sign them on the bottom with the show number as we do, but on this one I'll put a nice big St. Patty's Day show so you kind of remember extra what day that came from. And that's a pretty cool thing about any product that you purchase, that you look at the bottom if it's from the show, and you can see the number of the show, and you can go back into our archives on YouTube and watch any of those videos 5 years from now. You can see how that piece was created. And I don't foresee the technology getting any less technical in the future, so I would even go so as far to say 20 years from now, if you find this piece in your grandmother's garage or something, when you're pulling it out 20 years from now, you can understand where it came from and see it actually being made live, which is pretty cool. We got Jody watching. Yep, I was already there. We got Bo, what's happening? Pat from the Isle of Man. Happy birthday for yesterday. Thank you very much. That's in the UK. Kay from New Zealand. What's happening? Pammy from Australia. What is happening? You are totally allowed to be green with envy, Pammy. That is totally up to you. So that one is sold to Linda. Congratulations on a sweet piece. Moving up next, we jumped right into the pot of gold. And this was the first ever that we've done on the live feed. I don't think Chris has made cauldrons before, but they've always been kind of Halloween cauldrons. Never before a St. Patty's Day pot of gold. So you can kind of see it from all angles. It's got little rivets all the way on the side, little black handles on either side, and then we put, I think it had to be like 12 or 16 gold coins right in the top, piling over the top. And I'll give you the close-up right now on this. We got the GA stamp on the bottom here. With one hand, I'm going to try not to spin it around too much. But, I mean, that is a pot of gold. Look at the handles on the side. Super cool. Nice foot. Green accents. A deep metallic black cauldron. And then you turn it up here and look at those coins glistening. Just blinging and hanging out there. Super clean. Something else that's really cool. We got the GA stamp on the bottom, but you see that tungsten hole right there. We talked about that on the show, and we showed you how that went down with tungsten metal. Bored a hole into it because when we put this big flat gold patty on the top, we sealed air inside of the cauldron. And so we didn't want the glass expansion and contraction to put too much pressure within the piece. So by relieving that pressure, all we do is bore a little hole into it. This is a super cool piece. This is a total one-of-a-kinder, and this one is still available on the website. It's on the Gathering Point page. Those will stay up for the week up until next Tuesday's show when we redo the page and add the new products for whatever we're making on that specific day. Kathleen's kind of green. Anybody drinking anything green? I saw Heidi posted a picture on the Glass Academy Addicts Facebook page of her sweet pebble glass. She was having some ice cold water fresh in the morning. Little pot is sweet. Cajun country here. Where is the Cajun country? I don't know much about that. But that piece is super cool, and that one's going to be for sale. Anything that doesn't get sold, if you're local, we put it over into the gallery, and you can see that in the gallery as well. But I don't foresee this one lasting too long. But even if it did, I know Michelle was pretty excited about it, especially because it was a family piece we all worked on together, that she might be snagging that one herself. I'm not really sure. Moving along. That's a beauty. I'll set it right here. I'll take an intermission from the show here to highlight what was worked on the experimental show last week. And so that was just my show. I was actually banking off of what Michelle had experimented with her feathers the previous week, the previous experimental show. And I went into the slumping Annealer and made 5 actually piles of different greens. And if anybody saw that experimental show on Sunday, if you do watch that consistently, let me know in the chat. It's cool to get some feedback about that and get your opinion on what that experimental show was like. But depending on the green, depending on the pile, and depending on pretty much those two things, green's a really soft color, they all melted differently and came up with different textures. I put these tiny little bits of glass together and melted them down. Here was one of the larger piles I had done. You see the height on it, you see the perfectly flat bottom, and then you see that cool looking texture. Now these were for the bonsais that I make, and I wanted to get a different type of texture on the top of them. I explained all this during the experimental show, but I'm just showing you guys kind of an annealer reveal from that show, how they turned out. And actually, I love this one. I love that green. They turned out really cool. That is bonsai texture in my mind. Here's a couple of the softer, darker greens with smaller piles that melted down a little bit too much. So you can see how those pretty much completely smoothed out. But then if we take it to this guy, I actually took one of those, my favorite one I just showed you, and I tested it on a little mock clear bonsai plume. So I made a little stem, made a little curl, and then dropped it on top and melted it down. And it looks really cool, but this one actually looks exactly like it looks. I like it with a little less meltedness, but this was, as soon as I put it onto the top here, I took 2 flashes in the heat, and it melted down twice as much. So what I realized is that if I wanted to do a bonsai and I wanted to have 5 or 6 of these plumes coming off on either side, and then I put the first one on like this, and then I go for the next one, make the next one, keep flashing it continually, put another one on there. By the time I even make the next plume and finish it up, this one's gonna be completely melted and totally puddled out like this guy was, because it's green. So if bonsais were orange, bright orange bonsais, which is an option, I could make something like that, gold and orange, but I like keeping them a little bit realistic. That would be a more feasible color pattern, but it turns out, and I think going forward, I'm gonna have to redraw it up in my brain, because that was truly an experiment and it turned out really cool, but I don't think it's gonna be a functional application of color on the bonsais, because all that color will just melt away and it'll look just like it did before, smooth and regular. So moving on from that, back to the regular show. Up next we made, and this was me jumping in, made a leprechaun gnome. And this was a pretty big hit. What's happening? Uncle Dennis is in the house. This was turned out super good. I'll put him on the roller here one time to give him a nice little spin. Hopefully he doesn't get too dizzy, so you can see him from all angles. But he's got an optic twist green body, a lot of this deep leprechaun green, and he turned out incredible. I'm super happy with him. I'm going to give him the slow turnaround GA stamp, buckle on his hat. Boom. He is super cool. And like I said, folks, we're making one-offs on the show. This was the gathering point piece. Michelle brought over for the beard a gold, but it was a powder. It was a super thin green color. So it turned out really cool and really swooshing and beautiful. And this has that actual buckle, nice smooth color line to it. It's not too spotty. This guy turned out just really sweet. He sits super cozy. And this one was actually sold as well. And if I remember correctly, it was Taryn. Taryn got another sweet piece. She's adding to the collection. That's a sweetie right there. We're signing at St. Patty's Day. I don't think we really need to sign at St. Patty's Day to know when this guy was made, but that's a pretty darn cool one. So congratulations to Taryn for snagging that sweet guy. And then we've got the giveaway piece. Take a look at the comments here. Janie, hope I'm pronouncing that right. She bought some raindrops, made a wind chime. Raindrops are super cool. We talked about them a couple weeks ago. Recycled glass, perfect for hanging in your window. Patricia suggests that I could add the color last to the bonsai, and that's where even with that, when I took this one and I put it on there, I took 2 more flashes. They were almost just equalizing flashes. They were quick. They were to distribute the heat evenly throughout the whole piece. And those 2 flashes totally changed the texture on the top. I had thought originally that that's what I would do, is make all the plumes and then just go down the line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, lay them all on there, take a couple flashes. But even the 1 flash I would take in between applying 1, applying 2, 3, 4, 5, that's 5 flashes. They would all be at different melted temperatures based on which was applied first. So still kind of at a crossroads there. Leprechaun is sold, pretty darn adorable. Looks like Bailey's, that's true. It does look pretty leprechaunish. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Exactly, Kathleen. It's a long-term process, but once you get the bonsai figured out or anything, I like these pieces that take a little bit of brain power. When you put that work in there and you really kind of struggle through it a little bit, it's that much more satisfying when you get it figured out. So that's no problem. That's part of glass blowing. You got to not be, like I said on the show, stressed out about the color or the use of time or the use of materials, and just kind of let it go down. And again, what I mentioned is that's the beauty of our YouTube subscription. That's why you guys are all being patrons of the art by supporting us for $4.99 a month. That adds up when individual people join, and you spread that around and tell your friends and family. So the $4.99 a month is what funds these kind of experimental pieces, so we can get to a higher tier of glass blowing. Shamrock's looking pretty good. Thanks, Glass Academy. All right. Leprechaun might be visiting Sue's house. Uh-oh. And we may make more leprechauns. We definitely may be. You're going to have to stay tuned for what comes down the line. We got a lot on our plates right now, and we got a lot of really cool things coming up, as always. Getting into the giveaway, this is the final piece of the show. 4 pretty in-depth pieces. It was a pretty solid show. Chris made this guy for the giveaway. This is a beautiful St. Patty's Day flower and or shamrock and or something or other vase. And this guy turned out super cool. This is one of both my dad and I's favorite greens. Beautiful, light, transparent green. Catches the light super well, and you see that pineapple mold looks pretty darn incredible. And then you see the way he stretched it down. This was all one big bubble here, and then he would heat it just at the halfway point, boom, like that, and swung it. So this whole part dripped down, shaped this up a little bit, and then add the foot on there. We punnied it up on the bottom. It's nice and smooth. You see a little color swirl where it got denser where you cut it, but he's got a beautiful, Michelle brought over a real hot, juicy green bit, and then they squished that out together into the Phoenician flared foot. Little green lip wrap to match. That's a super clean one with the GA stamp on the bottom. And that's going to be the giveaway for next week. And so if you guys know, or if you're new to the show, in order to win any of the free glass or any of the free glass, we give away a lot of glass once a week. We also give away classes and other product in the gallery if you sign up for the newsletter. But all you got to do to enter to win this up until next Tuesday is answer the e-news question from yesterday. And I don't have it in front of me, but I know it was pretty much how lucky or something about do you have the luck of the Irish? Yeah, and it was pretty much like just tell us something lucky or some kind of luck you've received recently, and how does your luck manifest? And you just send that to enews@glassacademy.com. That's our email. You email us over your answer, put your name in there so we know who it is, and we just like reading different questions, getting your email address, and entering you into winning this. We'll do the drawing next week, do the wheel of names, we spin it, pick a winner. Heidi just won. Congratulations to Heidi for last week, and she won a really sweet what was last week? Oh, it was the Nest Bowl goblet. So she got some free glass. She's over in Canada. She'll be getting that fairly soon, I'm sure. But that pretty much sums it up right here, folks. I'll take a look one more time here at the comments. Kathleen is agreeing and doubling down. You got to think outside the box. Pammy, that's sweet. Emerald green glass. That's the most beautiful color. Emerald green or maybe the Purps. When you get transparent, beautiful, strong green. This is not quite an emerald. This is a lighter, like a lime green, but I just love the transparent glass with a little bit of texture. You see the way the light works it, super nice. And that's exactly what they call me, the two-headed glass blower. Sounds like you got a 20% discount on there for shopping today at St. Patty's Day shopping. If I remember the marketing correctly, that's for all green products on the website, whether that's a little green hat on something or a little green twisty, whatever it may be, or a green pin. We got a mushroom pin. I don't think that's got green. I'm trying to think what might have green on it. You guys check it out on the website. If If you got any questions, shoot them towards me. We're going to have a beautiful day in the shop. We got a happy hour tonight, so we're going to be engaging with the customers and doing pretty much a Gathering Point show, but in person with people who signed up for the event. We're going to see you all on Sunday. We're not going to have a traditional experimental show. We're going to be showing you the incredible women's art and craft, beautiful gallery show that we've got going on the other side here in Batch Gallery, the other side of the Glass Academy. That's women of the Glass Academy bringing all their different wares and products that they've made over the past few years or the past couple weeks. And it's going to be a pretty cool show. I'm looking forward to it. If you guys are local, stop by and check us out on Sunday. But that experimental show is going to be transferred over into a beautiful walkthrough of the gallery so you all can see what we've been up to in person here and get a taste of what's going on in the shop. So I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Enjoy St. Paddy's Day. Don't get too crazy. Stay safe out there. And we will catch you all on Sunday. Have a great one.